Okay, welcome back. Um, so, in this video or in this section, we're going to be looking at local operators. In the previous video, we actually covered relational operators, where we look at some operators that are relational, that are relational operators. So here we will continue with operators, but we're going to be looking at some really cool local operators. So I have already created the Java class for this. So we're just going to go ahead and run the codes, and then make use of these wonderful local operators. So if you look at this comment, this information or expressions that I've commented out here, you will see that this is A and D, which is a normal English called and then you see a figure or symbol that also mean and then you also see or, and then you also see this two-line symbol that also represent and as well as not, and this exclamation mark that represent that as well. So what are we talking about here? So what we're saying is, what we're trying to say is, and is an English, but you cannot use and like this in Java programming. It has to be in this symbol form. Okay, so let's get to it. A perfect example for this, for explaining these logical operators, will be using the data type Boolean. Okay, because Boolean actually is actually the data type that we use to verify whether a statement is true or false. So like previous classes, I'm going to use a random variable. So I'm going to I want to create a statement that's says one is true and true is false, or one is false and true is false. Okay, so I'm going to say true and close it with a semicolon, and then I'm going to write another Boolean data type, and this time I'm going to say true. Oh, sorry, man. This keyboard is just straightening me up. Okay, so and then we'll say true is false, right? Well, that's an illegal way of representing false in Java. As you can see, it says illegal. So let's make all of them lower cap. All right, good. So now we have two expressions here, right? One is true and two is false. So if we want to make use of this statement, okay, if we want to use this statement to this logical operators to make a statement using one of these true or false, we have to use the printout line statement. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and write south as the shortcut for print out system.out.print line, and I'm now going to input the variables into the system output. Okay, so I'm gonna say one. So one space, that is what we've been using for our space since the beginning of this class. And then we open our invited comma or question mark. Oh, sorry, or quotation mark. Okay, and now we're going to input this symbol and space again. So let's space out to ensure that the output is well organized and well spaced out. All right, so we say space again and two, and space again, and then what value will it return? So let's say it's going to returns whatever statement we're going to give here. So in this case, let's say space, and let's say it should return either 1 and 2. Okay, so which means if this expression here, the expression between 1 and 2 here are true, then the return value here should be false. If the statement here is going to give birth to a false, and then the final output should be a true. Okay, let's check it out. So I'm going to write 1 and, so this is now what we call and 2, right? And then let's come outside of the okay, so yeah, now we have our smart column here. So let's see, let's run this program or these codes and see what comes out, and then I can support it with additional explanation. So let's go ahead, right? So we're just going to look for local operators and run it. Okay, right. So I think we have a very wonderful output, right? So 1 is true, as you know, which is this true here, and then 2 is false, which is this false here. Okay, so if these two are false, then the output on this true and false, then the output should be false, because between 1 and 2, 2 is false, right? Right. I mean, there should be a better way to explain it, but I think it is the expression that we put inside this printout system here that give birth to this information that we have here. Okay, right. So you can play with it. You can do as many. You can, because code programming is just practicing and experimenting. All right. So you can, carry out more experiment, and then we'll see what we get from there. Okay. So now. So let's say let's remove this and so I'm just going to try this or here and see what we're going to get. All right. So let's say in order to be able to get this or sign here, you just look on your keyboard right on top of the enter or returns. If you're using MacBook, you see backward slash, right? So in order to be able to get the line, you just press shift and then you hit the line twice. And this means or, okay? So if we put or here, it means we also have to remove this and change it to a or, right? Now, let's go and run the code. Let's run the code and see what we got. Sweet. Okay, so why don't you go ahead and try this not here, okay? And then if you can do more research and try more operators. I mean, it wouldn't really cause any harm. All right. So practice, and I'll see you in the next section.